good. Welcome back.
What's
It's
up? What's
Josh, co-host. You got Diego. Um, Long days at work, but we all good. We're still thriving. So hope you're enjoying this show week after week. We are narrowing down the last week of the NBA
Yeah,
season. Lot of crazy news that we'll get into. The West is like a
tight.
slugfest. There's so
hmm
many teams that are gonna like shift around in like power rankings. We'll see the
Yeah,
Lakers play tonight, but um, before we touch upon them, Diego, how was your weekend? What did you end up doing?
my weekend was pretty chill. Watched the national championship game last night. Watched the semifinal game, but the biggest thing last night, playing a league game with my boys, the Swift Shooters, the Royal Oak Swift Shooters is what our group chat name is. Bro, I wasn't didn't play a good first half. I come in, I'm about to get the inbound first half. I'm like, all right, let's just new half. Let's just we're locked in. Like that's just the last half, bro. I drive. I go up on the 6'6" guy, make contact, just finagle it off the glass and in. Make
Olay,
like literal fillet,
olay.
and then I got two
Okay.
more layups like that. And this was good half. There was a good run there, but then they kind of take the score back. 2:25 left. We're down by like 9. Literally, my girlfriend, like another teammate's girlfriend, and another one of our friends, they're just like, yeah, they lost. They're literally telling us after the game, they're like, we thought you guys lost, bro. I don't know how we did it. Like the leading scorer of our team goes by me, gets me the ball back. I'm wide open, and as he's giving me the ball, he's like, shoot it, and like I was just like, I shoot it and I drain the three. Next time down, I'm dribbling. I shovel it off to my guy, another guy in the corner. He hits a three. We play some lockdown defense. Next thing I know, man, we win the game. Like we're down 9 with 2:25 left. We just came back, and man, like every shot we made, I'm like, let's go! Like I was like yelling out here, man. It was insane. It was wild. So
Wow.
that's going in the archives. And I had also missed 2 threes in the first half before that. I had not made a three that in the whole game. And man, I just caught it and I
All it takes
said,
is one, man.
I know, man. It was, and our leading scorer, like I had 9 points. That guy, other guy who hit a three had 9 points. We were tied for second in scoring. Our leading scorer of our 63 total points, he had 27 points on 7 threes. This dude is an absolute demon. I don't think he watches this, but Jake, if you're watching, you're fucking, you're a demon. He's the guy, the leading
Demonetized.
scorer.
Not like we're getting any money anyway.
I
But
know, but
that's
just
insane. 7 threes.
I know, man. So crazy game. Definitely got hip to the when you get the ball, start to drive, kind of not like obviously not violently pushing the defender back, but using your hand a little. That kind of helps. That was
The
in
off arm.
yeah, man. So I'm dialed. I'm dialed. So we're playing well. We're playing well. And yeah,
Dude, that makes me so happy. Like that's just pure momentum right there. You just took the
it
momentum
is.
right out of them. And
Yep.
that's that's incredible, dude. Like I've had those nights in pickup where I'm just hitting like 3 or 4 threes and I feel
Yeah.
like absolutely unconscious. Like I don't like I normally pay a lot of attention to my mechanics when I shoot threes when I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know why I missed this shot or I know why I
Yeah.
missed that shot. But when you're in the game, you don't have time to think about that. You
That's
just
the
have to
thing.
rely on your instincts and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm always like beating myself up and I'm like, oh, I could have tried this move or that move, but I never did it because all I did was shoot threes and got to the lane and stuff. But when your instincts take over and you're just absolutely unconscious, it's the best feeling in the world. So
Yeah. It's all it's
that's
about.
incredible how like your entire team got hot. Like you literally pulled the Florida like in
I
that
know.
game.
It was
Insane.
insane, man. It was wild. Like that was a magical experience. We'd actually done that before against this team when we won our lone championship here at the Troy Community Center Rec League. This was it was like a year ago in this time against the same team in the final. So it's very funny that it's like if I had a
You
nickel,
scarred him. You scarred him
yeah,
for sure,
it's like
bro.
if I had a nickel for every time this happened. I don't have 2 nickels, but it's weird I have 2 of them, right? Like that's how I'm feeling. But good times all around, man. And
So when's the 10-day contract coming from the Pistons?
I don't know, man. Hopefully soon. Hopefully the mail it's coming. I don't know. But it was fun, man. Good
You
time.
talk about the national championship game, man.
Yeah, we went to
I
watch it after the game. That
I
was
had Florida. I had Florida winning my
really
bracket and
dang.
all of my work brackets. And I think I
Poor
could have
guy.
like there's like in some of my work league there's like money where you can win
Mm-hmm.
if you finish top 4. So like it worked out where I think one person picked Houston, but like the rest of the 4 who still had champions all picked Florida. And I was like high enough where I'd still get top 4. But I was nervous watching that game, man.
Yeah, man.
Like because they just had no answers. One of my favorite players, Clayton, he was
Yeah, he's
locked up.
so good.
He was locked up for a
Mm-hmm.
full like 3 quarters. And then all of a
It's
sudden,
just
like third
three.
and fourth quarter, they just like got hot. I don't know why, but they kept trying to start out the ball with Clayton and get him in pick and rolls and stuff. When he could have got his points a lot easier, like in transition, off ball cuts, and
Yeah.
whatnot. And when they finally switched to that, it made a world of difference. And I felt for everybody dogging Houston on the last play, that looked like it was going to get blocked if he
No,
didn't like
yeah.
pump fake that one. I think the way he dribbled it didn't put him in the optimal position to like
No.
sidestep and get a shot off. Like he kind of wasn't expecting the contest to be
Yeah,
that
yeah.
close, which is why he's like, oh, I can't. I kind of like
Actually
almost double
shoot it.
dribbled. So like he
Mm-hmm.
had to let the ball go. So I'm gonna give the guy a little bit of slack because like instinctually that's just really hard in the moment. But to have that like 4 straight possessions is a rough way to go out when you
Yep.
control the entire game. So I feel really bad for Houston. Florida earned it though. Their defense in the last 5 possessions,
Yeah,
absolutely
man.
incredible.
On that final possession, I mean, scaring Sharp into going into a shot and having to let go of it because he thinks it's getting blocked. I also just don't think it was bad. It was just not a bad play, but it just felt like they weren't. Houston couldn't get into getting a good shot. It just felt like whatever they did, I was like, oh, now they're gonna do something. Oh, I guess now they're gonna do something, and then that's what happened. I was like, wow.
And it was completely flipped the first half.
Yeah.
Like because Clayton would just take all these deep threes like
Mm-hmm.
to start the game because every time he got the ball, he's literally getting doubled. Like it was just insane. And for Houston's like heroics towards the end of games, especially against you, this is really surprising. So
Yeah, that Duke loss hurt me. Those are my champions, but good tourney all around. Just pissed me off. I'm a big Big Ten guy. I knew about Duke because obviously, how do you not know about Duke? And I don't have the time to watch the SEC. And it also pisses me off because they're so rich off of football that they're like, oh yeah, let's use all that money for basketball.
NIL, man, NIL.
I'm fine with NIL. I'm just not fine with the SEC being good at football and
Well, if it
basketball.
helps, South Carolina lost the championship in the women's league, so
True, that is true.
by a lot.
Page
by a
backers. Gino Auriemma, 12 rings.
She's him. She's him. Her. Sorry, her.
Hermithy.
Yeah, my bad, guys. Okay, alrighty. Another dismantling. Seemed like a championship game, like complete like welterweight fight. Lakers 126-99 win over the Thunder.
Insane.
Did not see that coming.
Not at all.
Insane. Like going into this game, the Lakers were 7-9.
Guys.
Like that was an incredible statement made by them, MVP candidate. Shea had no free throw attempts this entire game.
Right, yeah.
He had 26 points and he shot the ball 23 times. So he still got like high 20s, but like that is not efficient. Like when Shea is dangerous, he kills you with efficiency. And that was just wow. Like incredible performance on both sides. What did you take away from that game?
Man, the biggest thing I didn't have time to watch the game. I was doing homework and all this stuff, but I just seen on my phone, I got a notification the Lakers are up like 115 to like, I don't know, something. It was a big score. I was like, dang, who are the Lakers beating like this? Probably like the Pelicans. Like my first thought was the Pelicans. And I think they had actually played their game before against the Pelicans. And especially my thought was Luka hasn't been playing well, except for that game against the Pelicans recently. And I was just like, what's going on here? Who are they playing? I look at the end of the night, bro, it's the Thunder. After they'd also lost to the Rockets on Friday night, I had that on the background while I was playing video games with my friends. Bro, what is going on? And you could say it doesn't matter if it's Thunder, they have the 1 feet locked up. Validly so, but man, and the big thing for me is just you lose in the turnover battle. as the Lakers. You have 17 turnovers to the Thunder's 7. But it doesn't matter when you can shoot 22 of 40 from deep. Like, that's wild. You make 10 more threes than the Thunder. That's 30 points right there, and that's basically the difference almost.
Math. It's just the math. They won the math game there.
And it's just confusing because, I don't know, like, you could say, oh, like, we shoot so many threes, but, like, that's just how it is. And especially how Luka is, because 2 games before, he was not playing well at all. I mean, let's see, they lost to the Warriors. Actually, they beat the Rockets and the Grizzlies before.
It was insane. Literally, the Warriors beat the Lakers.
Yeah, in LA.
The Lakers lose to the Rockets. And then, or no, I think the Lakers.
They beat the Rockets.
They beat the Rockets. And the Rockets go and beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell you anything. These Western Conference playoffs are going to be very, very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's hard to explain. You could say, well, if you're a Thunder fan, you're like, well, Luka and the Lakers aren't all going to shoot 55% from deep every game. That's kind of what happened to you last time when PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr. are hitting these threes. You got to be scared of that. Now, obviously, if I'm a Thunder fan, I'm not too stressed. But what I'm thinking is tonight's the night. They're playing again. This game was also in Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So very surprising that happens. The Thunder need to come back here and say, yo, this is our house. Y'all are the Lakers, but we're the Thunder and we're the best team in the league. I think they show. They show what they got.
The thing is, I don't know if Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves are all playing though.
They are.
They are.
Dave McMenamin reported today that all 3 of them are playing. They're going up for this game, and guess who they play tomorrow night? The Mavericks in Dallas. So what does that mean? They're playing. All 3 of them are playing back to back. Luka's back to back, or are they just not caring about the Mavs like that? So it's very, very interesting here. What is going on? I'm unsure. Yeah, this is an interesting stretch here.
I mean, I'm be tuning in tonight's game then, but touching on the Lakers. Again, Luka's just been a Thunder killer, since last year's playoffs, so that was no surprise. But Reeves continuing to be that third option, shooting hot, 20 points on 7 to 15 shooting. LeBron, 9 to 16 shooting. Dorian Finney-Smith, some of his buckets were insane. 14 points. Gabe Vincent, 12. Hachimura, 11. You're talking about 6 guys in double figures as far as
I was going to say that.
And I want you to pay attention to this one quote from the second best player of all time. You attack pressure with pressure. Also, nobody is faster than the ball. It comes to ball movement and things of that nature that combat a lot of the ball pressure. When the ball's moving, the ball's flying around. I thought we did a great job of being able to put the ball on the ground when the defense shifted, being able to find the extra guy on the perimeter either for shots or drives and kicks.
Yeah.
So that's an important quote to take away from it right now because he's acknowledging what Oklahoma City does defensively that's so effective. You talk about guys like Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Shea, the amount of defenders, Alex Caruso. You can go on and on and on with the amount of defenders they have that can pressure the ball, put ball pressure. LeBron has seen how to counter that, and that's something that shouldn't be overlooked. Now that he's put this out there, how many teams can move the ball as effectively on OKC's defense? It'd be very interesting to see how teams approach them in a 7-game series, knowing that it can be done if you beat it with the ball movement and being decisive with your moves when you catch the ball. Catch, jab, drive. Catch, shoot. Catch, get into a triple threat within half a second. Make your decision. It seems like that's the best way to approach the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense. And I'm not saying it's going to suddenly be a 60-win team like this. But that's something I'm going to keep an eye on in these high pivotal games.
Mm-hmm. I just think, and I agree with that, the passing, especially, my GOAT, saying that stuff about the passing and whatnot. But that's the thing. That's the confounding thing is they they double up the Thunder in their turnovers. The Thunder did what they wanted to do. They turned the ball over and they did that, and they still lose the game by 27 because of the shooting. So that's the confounding variable to me. Where like we're both engineers. I like my in. I put something in. The game happens. I get something out, and I have no idea what exactly went in to get this result because it doesn't make sense. Besides the shooting variation,
Oh,
and
Lakers
that's
are
just
just
how it
absurd,
is.
man.
Yeah. So I guess it adds to the fire that the Lakers can be a nightmare for anyone because obviously you have LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and you have Luka Doncic, who, depending on how he's feeling, depending on what's going on, and if a fan is heckling him, he could really go off on you. I don't know if there was any hecklage in this game, but just from what was that, Game 5 in Minnesota? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's just there's just all that to think about. So I really want to see how they come out tonight because I think the Thunder are going to step up just like they did against the Cavs in a similar way after they lost the first game. Next week they play. It's even fresher on their minds. I think they come out and say we're the best team in the league right now, and we're not going to take that from you. So,
I mean, do you see Chet and Jalen combining for 26 points on 8 of 20 shooting again? I don't
8 of
think so.
20? Yeah, no, definitely not.
No Thunder players other than that were like in double figures.
Really?
No other ones.
Wow.
Like it was literally just the SGA show, like
Yeah,
the entire time. And in the playoffs, that cannot happen. Like
that's how the Mavs won.
we've been saying a majority of the season, Jalen Williams has been like one of the best number 2 options in the league. Like it's either him or Jaylen Brown. Like it's been like that pretty much. So like it's Jalen Williams has got to show up in the playoffs. Chet's also got to show up as like this unfair third option. Like for this team to be as strong as their record indicates. And again, going back to the Lakers, they literally held the Rockets to 98 points.
Yeah.
And the Thunder to 99. We can't overlook that when considering even the turnover battle, where they're forcing bad shots, they're forcing bad decisions. Especially with a Thunder team that was ranked 3rd in offense and 4th, like in their previous 15 games. Like this is not a bad offensive team at all, which makes this even more insane.
Yep. I guess last 2 things. One thing I saw, I think it was in the Nekias Duncan thread about this game, is one way to really but help make life difficult for the Thunder is to show them different looks. Have a little man here, a zone here, maybe a mix of that every possession or every so possessions. Because, right, I don't think anyone can guard SGA one-on-one at all. I don't think any defense really can do that. But if you don't show them the same thing, because you see something 3 times straight, you're like, okay, I know what we're doing here, and I'm gonna do my thing. So switching it out is very important. And then that's the thing. Are these bad shots? I mean, in this game, Jalen Williams goes 1 for 4 from deep. Shea goes 2 of 5. That's fine. Lou Dort 3 of 7. That's good. Chet Holmgren 2 of 3. Everyone else, Isaiah Joe went 2 of 5 as well. Everyone else, Kenrich Williams 1 for 4. Also Alex Caruso 1 for 4. And then Kaysen Wallace and Aaron Wiggins made no threes on 5 attempts between the both of them. That's the strat, right?
That's what the Lakers wanted to do.
Yeah,
they wanted to limit their paint touches. They wanted to limit the amount of free throws they had, and they would live with the results.
And let those secondary guys shoot threes because they're not Shea, they're not Jalen Williams, they're not Chet Holmgren or Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe can't shoot, but these other guys, let them shoot it. They've got to prove they've got to prove it, and in the playoffs especially, because again, the 3rd time I say it, that's how the Mavs won. Let these other guys shoot the rock. So, yeah. I'm getting excited. The playoffs are
you're like, oh my god! The next week, Diego's gonna come up with some Shannon Sharp like rhyme. And say,
I'm down
after this, man. I'm waiting for it because let's see what happens tonight.
Yeah.
Especially because they're all healthy. But if what LeBron said is true about the ball movement, and that's something OKC truly can't figure out, that's a big, big weakness. Especially with a team with the personnel in the playoffs that can see the way the Clippers are playing right now. You're telling me they can't have some ball movement and dominate the way they've been dominated, they're a team that could take out OKC if they can play like that, and that proves to be their
Skies.
kryptonite. Again, don't want to take away anything that OKC has done this season, but when somebody as great as LeBron James points something out like that, teams are watching and paying attention. So,
Yeah, it's a copycat league.
100%. Just like that, the Nuggets seem to copy what the Grizzlies were doing.
God. No, not God. That's a good
I find
transition.
a way. I find
No,
a way
that's-
to make terrible segues even more terrible. You know.
No, that was good. I'm like just the move. This decision pisses me off. And I had a note. Calvin Booth also gets fired on this. God, like why? Why do coaches just get coaches are like the most worstless thing in this league. No one cares for a coach could take you to the NBA, could be or to the NBA finals and win you that. Could get a coach of the year, Gonzo the
They
next
literally
season.
won the championship 2 years ago,
Certainly.
and they would have won. I mean, they're the only team that beat the
Yeah.
Celtics last season in the
Yeah.
regular season. Had they not like just completely folded against the Minnesota Timberwolves in a Game 7, they could have won the championship back to back. They could be looking at a three-peat, like going into this fight. Like, it's just insane what has happened here. Like, the Nuggets are 47-32. They're playing the Kings Wednesday night. But the big thing is like there's been a lot of frustration in the locker room. That's the reporting, especially like I think they're 20th on defense, and they lost important games to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors, who are part of those like 5 teams with all but 32 losses.
Yeah.
And they lost the Spurs at home,
Yeah.
like which is all respect to Wemby and Chris Paul and that like they're not playing, but like that shouldn't be happening. Not against a team where like Jokic is probably going for his 4th MVP, playing out of his mind,
He is.
And you're like, oh, let's get rid of the infrastructure around him with the head coach and GM. If you wanted to fire them, do it after the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why now? Why now? You're setting up your team to fail at the most critical part. And David Adelman, he's the coach taking up the interim spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
He's put in a very tough position. He can knock it out of the park. He could be the next Joe Mazzulla. But that is a very tough spot to be in. Like 5 games before the season ends, be like, here, your job is to take the Nuggets to the playoffs and to the championship.
Yeah.
After you weren't the lead dog, and that is just, I feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is it's a bizarre choice. Like I don't want to say they should have done this before they lost all those 4 games in a row, but I think 5 games before the season ends is a really bad look for the entire organization.
Yep. So, one tidbit, you said David Adelman. I didn't even get that. What am I reading? But anywho, David Adelman is actually son of Rick Adelman. Big thing of Rick Adelman's career was he coached he coached those Kings teams in the early 2000s, the ones that actually were successful and stayed successful for a while, not like the current Kings teams. Anyway, just insane shot. But another thing I'd heard is that there's a lot of bickering between Calvin Booth and Mike Malone. One thing was, especially after that kind of debacle was it Tuesday? Russell Westbrook missing the game-winning layup, then fouling to lose the game. Calvin Booth was mad at Michael Malone. Why are you playing Westbrook in these minutes?
Yeah, he wanted Jalen Pickett. He
Yeah.
rather would have Jalen Pickett be playing than Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Oh, I'm not a Russ Glazer. I don't love Russell Westbrook, but I still think Russell Westbrook, at least he might not be perfect offensively. He might not be able to shoot threes, but at least he can play a bit more defense. He's bigger than Jalen Pickett, in my opinion.
And he plays with intensity. He
Yeah.
brings it on the floor every single night.
Exactly.
He's experienced. He's been in these moments.
Yeah. I don't know. But I think from here, then supposedly this change is to give the team a jolt. What does that mean? I mean, Jokic is fine. He's playing well. But he was injured for a good chunk of this with his like elbow. So how much can you blame that on the coach? Jamal Murray has no real timetable for his return. Can't blame that on the coach.
And it's a
So I don't.
hamstring injury. It's a hamstring injury. Like if you rush that trying to get ready for the playoffs, that's the worst spot to be in because you could easily rupture it again or like
Yeah,
injure it again, and you're not going to be at 100%.
I
You're
just
not.
hate this. I hate this move because it's just like a cop out of saying, "Oh yeah, we'll
You're
fire
telling you're
them."
telling me I picked them to go to the finals this year.
That's
I
wow.
feel like an idiot.
No, you shouldn't. The Nuggets GM should feel like an idiot, or president, whoever it is. I mean, oh my god, it's that Cronky. That
Another Josh Honky, man.
yes. But I was gonna say something. Oh, like this is just a cop out and like, oh, we'll just fire our coach. Then whatever happens, just happens. And it doesn't matter. It makes sense. We were supposed to lose in the first round if that happens. Like it just feels like you're trying to get ahead of the repercussions of having a bad season. And this hasn't been a great season because of injuries and other stuff, but I just don't like it. I
Haven't
don't
been a
like it
great
at all.
season. They're completely avoiding the play-in. Like if
Yeah,
they keep playing
exactly.
as is, like unbelievable. I
Yeah,
think the big thing looking at these reports is supposedly Booth wanted to go younger with younger
yeah.
players, which is
That's
why
how it's
he's like
always been.
advocating for players like Pickett and like getting rid of like key guys like Bruce Brown, like
Mm-hmm.
in
KCP.
favor like and yeah, KCP, and I like players like Christian Brown.
Yeah,
I like those guys, but part of the reason why I liked them was because they were coming off the bench and giving you something more than like a bench player would.
yeah,
Like that is a cheat code in and of itself. That's how they won the chip. That doesn't mean you just give them a starting role right away,
yeah,
you know? Like it's just you recognize what your teams did well and you look to preserve that. But they wanted to go younger and cheaper for the sake of it.
yep.
Like and he gave Zeke Naji a big 4-year deal.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, not just that. Also, the MPJ
Dario
deal.
Saric, like
Oh
they
God.
got him in free agency, and Malone has not played him since December.
Yeah,
Like it's it's just been like an ongoing battle between the two, like as philosophy and like coach and GM, you can't have that misalignment. But with that being said, Coach Malone has been playing like coaching this team for 10 years. Granted, it took him 8 years to win a chip, but like each of
but
those years leading up to it, like they were competitive in the playoffs. They were doing very, very well.
yeah,
And like I don't think he was the problem. Could there be other stuff that comes out where yeah, his coaching style can be a little bit too intense? Yes. But go remember back to like when Jamal Murray tore his ACL. The year he came back. Why did he come back? Because a guy like Mike Malone believed in him. You better hope Adelman is the permanent guy. And if he doesn't get the job, then the worst thing I fear is that the Nuggets will be like, oh, you don't stand out in these playoffs, even though they gave him like limited opportunity to do so.
yeah.
They go out and hire somebody external, aka maybe a Doc Rivers, because he has
God,
championship expectations. Yeah, just hearing that. Imagine if Doc was coaching this team. I would be. I would rather have Mike Malone than Doc.
yeah.
Like I'm just looking at this. I'm like, what's the risk of doing this right now? And it's significant, very significant.
Yep. And I guess going on to the Calvin Booth discussion, those two contracts, Sarge and Najee, are a bit not great. But the MPJ discussion, you give him a max contract. And I'm not saying MPJ is a bad player, but I don't think right now he's not a top 3 player on your team if Jamal Murray's healthy and he has a max contract. That's kind of tough. That hamstrings you. That's part of the reason why you lose KCP in the first place. And
Who's top three and then in your opinion on that team?
Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and Murray when Murray's healthy.
Okay.
Aaron Gordon has been starting to shoot threes. That was the one that I would play against the Nuggets on 2K. I'm like, Aaron Gordon, you're out there. I'm not looking at
That's
you.
your evidence. That's
Yeah,
your evidence.
that's my
2K
evidence. Yes.
Oh my god.
But
But
now he can shoot them. He can shoot, and like he in
when
that 30
when they
point
won the
game,
chip,
he's
they were
big.
daring Aaron Gordon to shoot, and he
Mm-hmm.
was hitting his threes and stuff like that. So he's had a resurgence, and I get that. But Michael Porter is like kind of like that 3-point specialist who has been making strides and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
a tough call.
But
That's a very tough call to make.
the big thing for me is you're struggling on defense. MPJ does not help you defensively at all. He's big, but he's not gonna protect the rim. He's not good on ball. You're kind of losing there. I saw on Twitter this one guy, I don't even remember his name, but he was suggesting that there could be a trade done for MPJ, and I mean that could be interesting, especially with the new GM. I mean that could be something they're open to, and you could save money. You could save money, Josh Kroenke, big money, worried about money because you're a millionaire, and that's how you make money. You have to be worried. I'm sorry, it gets me mad, but
Well,
that's
what's
just
going to make you more money if you build a winning product on the team and you keep the fans
exactly.
invested so they want to keep coming?
Exactly.
It's
You have
like
to
it's like
spend money
these
to make money.
owners think backwards, man.
You have to spend money to make money, and money just doesn't grow on trees. You don't just luck into money by being frugal about it. Obviously, you don't spend incessantly, but you need to choose what you value more.
And
Yeah.
to their credit, they've been really good at finding GMs. They've been really
Yeah.
good at finding them
Who's the other guy?
and draft
Yeah.
picks. They've been really good at their draft picks.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you can't bank on that. You can't bank on that year after year after year. You're banking on the fact that you're gonna get the right guys in the draft. You're gonna have like a 90% hit rate on every single guy. You cannot
It's
bank on
insane.
that.
No,
Like
you
if
can't.
if you have a KCP and Bruce Brown, they are glue pieces you keep. They're not commodities where you're like, oh, they're 32. We'll just give them to another team.
Yeah.
Maybe on 2K, I'm like, okay, I want everybody on my team to be younger than 30. That
Yeah.
works for me because I'm playing on 2K. The players
Yeah.
aren't real, but these are real life human beings that have experience, 10 years of experience. They know
Mm-hmm.
how to do the little things and the little things at 100% like efficiency.
Yeah.
And these young players, they don't have the mental aspect of the game that you need to play at the highest levels yet. And
Yeah.
that's no fault of their own. They just have like the athletic upside. A large majority of them. Look at Modest Buzelis, like how much he's had to grow over this insane season. He was
Yeah.
relying on his athleticism to a detriment. And now he's like slowly trying to figure out where are my spots? How do I pick my spots? Like it takes a couple seasons for the young guys to really see that. And
Mm-hmm.
just that the entire philosophy of the Nuggets is just
Interesting.
yeah, but it's a little short sighted.
Yep. And then their GMs, like you said, Arturas Karstanovas. He drafted Jokic. That's big. And then I don't remember the GM of the Timberwolves right now, but he basically made that team. Tim Connolly, yes. He made the team that won the championship. So, and it also makes sense he can make the team that can take down the Nuggets the year after. So, they had good. I mean, I don't know what I think of Calvin Booth. I honestly didn't like it, but that might not be his prerogative. The whole money saving, pearl clutching, I need to save money deal. But yeah, interesting stuff.
But yeah, I
Crazy.
didn't think there would be like a bigger storyline than Luca going back to
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah.
But
We haven't even talked about that.
that's-
Well, I kind of talked about it. But yeah,
but I mean, this far sees that because this is completely out of left field.
this
So.
is yeah.
Alrighty, we'll go to positive vibes here, depending on how you like Draymond Green. Um, to me, if the season ended today, he'd be my defensive player of the year, like
Yeah.
candidate, and I don't think it's even close. But for a guy that's like 35, who's growing so many gray hairs, where he looks like he's like 45 and 50 on his beard, like the guy is playing insanely well for a guy that's only 6'6", not as fast as he was like 8 years ago when he won the award, and he's going against like absurdly freakish athletes as far as bigs, where he's always getting into it with like European players. Like he just got into with Şengün, like literally when they played last time. But again, similar to how LeBron uses his mind to be like elite on the court, Draymond Green has this enhanced ability to like just read things from the defensive side of the ball, and
Yeah.
I think he's completely worried about it. So I have a couple examples, but I just wanted to see like, would you agree with this? Is he your defensive player of the year candidate? Talk a little bit about what Draymond Green has done this season to make the Warriors just seemingly unbeatable since they got Butler.
Yeah. I guess one thing I want to preface is I think it's consensus. Wemby would have won if he didn't have deep vein thrombosis, which is just depressing. But whatever, water under the bridge, it happened. It's just, I think it's interesting because Evan Mobley was kind of the leader for a minute. And I think a huge thing that took him off, not only the campaigning from Draymond, which, I mean, kind of heinous in the fact that you're like, yo, I'm Depoy. Like, everyone look at me. I'm Depoy. Like, and validly so. He's a great defender, possibly the greatest defender at his position of this generation easily. But I feel like part of that was also Evan Mobley getting cooked by James Harden in that one play. And everyone's just like, yeah, he's not a good defender. And that was kind of how they lost a few of those games. Is at the end of the game, they're like, well, Mobley, get over here. Let's see if he can defend. And he couldn't in those moments. So I think that's a big reason why he gets pulled down a peg. But Draymond's IQ is the thing, paired with his incredible wingspan. I was just telling you about this before we started recording. Everyone, if you're on Instagram, look up Good Vibes Hoops. I watch so many of their reels that anytime it's posted, it's the first thing on my stories. It's like the first post.
Algorithm.
I love it because no narratives, no anything. It's just today's was Draymond's deflections, defensive awareness. And one thing I love about Draymond is anytime he moves on the court, he just moves a funny way. It's like sometimes it's just like my dog is like thinking about this stuff. And it doesn't look like he just like is just finagling around out there. But his hands, he sees the ball move, boom, hands up, he'll tip it. And that's all you need. You just need a deflection. That's it. So, and just the fact that at his age, he's got to be 32 at least.
He's 35.
He's 35. Like, my man is so old and he's still doing this. So I think he deserves it. Rudy Gobert really isn't in here because the Wolves haven't been a top seed this year.
And he's garbage. I'm sorry.
If you ask Draymond.
You didn't deserve that.
But the big, I think, and a big discussion that's been happening is you can't give Defensive Player of the Year very often, almost never, to a guard or a wing. Because, right, the big man is literally the guy protecting the paint, protecting the rim, and that's so valuable. And it is valuable. I will never say that's not. But I think it makes it worth possibly having a guard forward Defensive Player of the Year and a big Defensive Player of the Year. Let me get both. This is the award now. We split it. Just because, like, with the MVP, I want, like, Lou Dort should get recognized somehow for this, for what he does.
I don't think he's been on an all-pro defensive team.
Exactly. Or Caruso. Caruso's almost never been. Maybe he's been on a second team, but especially now.
He was on first. He was on second team, but never in like first team All NBA defender.
Yeah, and especially with. I was gonna say something.
They had talked about this. Caruso and Jalen Williams. They had literally talked about this on the podcast last week.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get this from.
And I wholeheartedly agree. Like they're like, even though it's a positionless league, they're completely different assignments. Whereas like you're not asking Evan Mobley to guard James Harden like on 70 possessions out of 100.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing that. You're asking Isaac Okoro or DeAndre Hunter to do that. Like responsibility. Like from the guards / like bigs, the responsibilities are still different, even in the era where it's like 5 out. So you need like, you can't, as much as I like hate Vucevic, you can't expect like most of the bigs in the league to just start chasing Steph Curry around the court, like they've had like 80 on the Pacer test or above. Like it's just insane, like the difference in responsibilities, and I full-heartedly agree with that. Let's tailor it back to Green for a second, because I do have a couple of examples on like why he's Defensive Player of the Year. Especially in the Western Conference, when you look at the matchups, Jokic, completely different animal. That's just impossible. But Zion Williamson, a guy that has a size, quickness, like elite athletic ability to absolutely demolish Draymond Green. And he went 31 points, 12 of 19 shooting the last time the Warriors faced him before the October matchup when Green just completely shut him down. I think Williamson went 5 of 20 that night. What did Green do? He gave Zion space. He gave him a little bit of space, but enough to close out on him. Like it's just insane. But against like taller players like Jokic and Anthony Davis, Draymond can't play that way. He has to be close enough to
Mm-hmm.
like to bump them or deter them. Where because of his wingspan, as long as he gets his hands up, he's in the way of the shooting motion. So like just what he thinks about like against with Zion in particular. The reason he gave him space, but not too much, is because he doesn't want Zion to like bump and finish, like using his physicality. So like he has all these physics calculations in his head based on instinct that he's doing this at the same time, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then against the Mavs, when Luca was still on the team,
Yeah.
and you had like Daniel Gafford and like Najee Marshall, um, and like Green was on Marshall for a second, but he saw that Gafford and Doncic were in a screen and roll. He
Yeah.
completely left Marshall by himself and went to go after Gafford to tag him. So he forces a read to somebody who's not used to getting the read. Like
Mm-hmm.
even like if Najee Marshall shoots it, that's fine. But like the rotations that happen between the Warriors is super important. What's another example here? The Rockets and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Şengün. He won one-on-one with Green in the paint. Şengün is 6'11", 235 pounds, and
Jeez.
incredible when his back is to the basket. But when when he was trying to do a fake spin in the middle, Green anticipates the move because again, he's a defensive player who studies film. He understands what are the counters when you're trying to do like back to the basket type. It's all instinct. Like he he wants to be their left, so Şengün sees that and spins right. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
see a defender react a certain way, you try to counter it. But what Green does is counter your counter, and he's experienced enough at 35 to play that chess match and
Mm-hmm.
would get players off balance. Even the other play, like um, against the Knicks, March 15th. Um, what like he started on Josh Hart because he considers Josh Hart the non-shooter,
Oh yeah.
and he's just basically playing center field. Um, Mikal Bridges curls off a screen. Draymond Green immediately goes to Bridges, stops Bridges, um, because he's really good at his mid-range pull-up. So he's like, okay, I need to shut that down immediately. Then, um, knowing that Anunoby likes to cut and makes cuts off of those, like Draymond immediately pivoted to like deter the pass or like force Bridges into a very uncomfortable pass where he's in an off balance decision. So now you have Bridges behind the arc, not ready to shoot it. So um, as a result, he still tried to throw it to Anunoby, but Anunoby was in like a suboptimal position to finish the layup. So Green blocked it, and that was the end of that position. It's just the little things. I didn't even get to the Bucks example I prepared to talk about. But
Yeah.
like you see all these examples against like different guys, like a guy like Mikal Bridges versus Şengün versus like Zion Williamson, all different types of physicality and speed, and how he treats each player differently at such like an offensive level where like you can see on a defense the offense is trying to focus on rotations and getting on the 4-on-3 matchups, and how Green has gotten so advanced in his defensive IQ to recognize that, I think can't go unnoticed.
No. Yeah. And that's kind of going with the good vibes. Hoops post today. Like it's just like that. He'll see something, boom, react right there. And even, oh, you good?
Yeah, I'm
We
just
might.
getting on the light.
Oh, I was about to say we might have lost Josh, but no. Uh, just the way you can think of the opponent's moves before they even do them. Just reading, and that's the big thing is the film work. Not every player is doing that, which is I guess surprising because it's their job, but that's what makes Draymond stand out because he's like Rodman, not only in this of his emotional outburst in that sense, but in the sense that he's going to study everything. Now, obviously, he's not checking the rotation of the ball as it spins for Michael Jordan, but he's knowing what that other player wants to do his matchup, and he's locked in. So I could see him winning this Defensive Player of the Year award. I think he's won one before, so this would be his second one.
Yep,
So
in 2017.
yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, he deserves at least one in that stretch with the Warriors. Well, he's always been with the Warriors, but in that very good stretch they had. 2018.
As long as he doesn't get himself in technical foul trouble, the sky's the limit for the Warriors.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
they could have been in the playoffs last year had he not like shown his antics, you know. So they have as high as the ceiling as anybody, and I'm really excited to see the combination of like him and the growth that Moses Moody, Kuminga, and Puzinski have had, in
Mm-hmm.
addition to the effect Jimmy Butler's had with Steph Curry always being lethal.
Yep.
I'm really excited to watch the Warriors this season. So
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun postseason for them. Jimmy Butler just changed the whole calculus, and at the free throws especially. So very good for them. And if you're a Warriors fan, be excited to get your popcorn out because it was not looking like this 2 months ago.
absolutely. All right. Are you ready for your redemption at the spin the wheel lineups or suffer utter
Yes,
defeat again?
I'm praying for my redemption. Actually, I was taking a shower before this night and just remembered that we were doing this, and I was like, wait, I really hope I win this time. That was it. That was the only thought. Just
Okay, man.
thoughts.
Okay.
Or just vibes. No thoughts. Are you going
Alrighty.
first or am I going first?
I won, baby. I had the better lineup last time.
All right, sounds good to me. Who we got? The Bucks.
Okay. Alrighty. This is gonna test my lie telling abilities. Kareem played the Bucks?
Wait, can you put your mic closer? I can't really hear you that well.
Didn't Kareem play on the Bucks?
You did.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna check my audio settings here.
No, I hear you better now.
Okay.
It was just that, yeah.
I'm still gonna go with Giannis. So.
Yeah, I feel like that's the move. And honestly, I mean, right now you could put him there, but you could honestly, depending on your whole lineup, you could put him wherever. Besides guard, but whatever. Moving.
I'm begging that I'm getting players like LeBron and
That
MJ
would be-
again, So
I would hope not.
I might move Giannis to 4, depending on how this lineup build goes.
The Kings. Man. I think there's only one option. Give me Boogie Cousins.
Mr. Technical Foul, like because he threw a shoe? DeMarcus Cousins?
Yeah, fine with that.
Real
He can
story.
shoot threes and dribble the ball up and down.
People forget how good DeMarcus Cousins was on the Kings.
Yeah, man. Though we were scared of those Pelicans teams until he got injured. And then we were scared of the Warriors team, and then he just did nothing. Oh, gosh.
Oh, man. This
So
is...
many options.
I know. Oh, man.
What do you want here? I feel like you have like 3. There you go, 4 options. I wouldn't pick the 4th option.
I have so many. I have so many options.
I have 3 in my mind. Right? Because, I mean...
I could do Shaq just to spite your DeMarcus Cousins, knowing that Shaq will absolutely demolish him.
He's
But
big
I'm
enough.
gonna go Kobe B. Bryant.
Valid. You could have also gone LeBron. Just FYI.
I could have.
I was also thinking Magic, just because of the size, but you've gotten 3 of the.
I know how you build your lineups defensively. I just want to ultimately like devastate you with this shot maker.
Jeez, I mean, not unvalid. Oh, yes,
Cavaliers.
you be my goats. Yes. Nah, I could have said.
Kyrie Irving?
Said Hot Rod Williams. No way. Hot Rod Williams, Mark Price, Brad Doherty, Larry Nance. What do y'all know about Larry Nance Sr.?
Stop playing with them, y'all. Stop playing with them. This is the part of the YouTube comments when they're gonna be like, "You had all the options to pick LeBron, and he didn't." So
I would never. We all know here I would never not pick my goat. I just watched the latest episode of Mind the Game. That was great. If you want to
Me
learn
too.
about it,
Me
it was
too,
awesome.
dude.
It was awesome.
It was insane to see like LeBron's like how his routine changes from like off season to in season.
Yeah, I
Like,
love it.
That's just like ridiculous. Like what do you have to do from an athlete standpoint?
Mm-hmm. Especially to be playing like that at 40, man. Jeez. Ooh.
Okay. All right.
God.
Do I go Shea here?
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you if you did, but either way, you're getting the ISO score you want. You could also
Dude,
go
Sam Presti. Think about the amount of people he's had. Like in his
James
tenure.
Harden. You could even get James
Russell
Harden.
Westbrook, James Harden, KD,
I wouldn't
Kendrick
pick
Perkins, of course. Chet Shea, Paul George,
Paul
like
George.
like Shea Gilgeous, like I've said him twice because he's that good.
He's
Like
pretty
Jalen
good.
Williams, like it's it's crazy, but I can't. If I got Giannis on one team, I got to do Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I put KD. I put KD.
Kevin Durant and Kobe, man.
Yeah. Just ISO demons. I need. Give me something. Gosh, that did again. The Portland Trailblazers. All right. I guess I have to do it. There's no one else that was really. I'm not going LaMarcus Aldridge. He's too slow, and I already have a center. I don't want to go Brandon Roy. I'll take Dame. I'll take Dame.
Dame Dollar, you actually did it.
I guess who else was I gonna pick? I already picked Bill Walton last time.
You could do
Didn't help
Clyde
me.
Drexler.
I guess, but I'd rather have Lillard. Lillard can actually shoot threes. Clyde the Glide though, don't sleep. He's very fun to play with on 2K. I really think of him as like a knockoff Jordan. Jeez. The cookage. All right.
Oh my goodness.
I need to think of who I want and just manifest. Oh, thank God you can't pick LeBron though. Let's go. It's done.
Larry Bird at
Larry
the
Bird
one.
at point guard is insane. You really don't.
All these players are insane, man. I'm completely destroying you right now, and it's all because of pure luck.
You could play. I feel like you could play Giannis ball and just have him handle the ball and just spray out. That might be the move here.
It don't matter. Bird can do it too.
Yeah, I feel like you don't maximize, but also you're not maximizing. Well, I don't know. These are good questions.
Kevin Durant can handle the ball if he wants.
Oh gosh, bro!
Oh,
What?
this is hilarious.
Larry Johnson? No.
You gotta go Kemba here, dude.
No, I'm not going two 6 foot guards. I mean, Dame isn't 6 feet tall, but he's small. Oh, I kind of want to go LaMelo, but I really don't want to. Gordon Hayward.
Man, really thought Gordon Hayward. Charlotte's Hornets, Gordon Hayward.
This is terrible. I'll take LaMelo.
Doesn't want to take Kemba, but he takes LaMelo ball.
Yeah, because at least LaMelo's big, and maybe if I'm the coach, I'm gonna say some heinous things and get him riled to play some defense. Play some.
He's not guarding Larry Bird or Kobe, man. I'm sorry.
He's not, but at least he's tall. At least he has something there.
All right, how do we line up?
Size is Kobe.
Line up.
Gosh, and at the center position. No, bro, what is going on?
Oh my goodness,
this is insane. I don't know who I should get, but I should get just. I'm sad now.
If I wanted to I could go David Robinson.
Yeah. That would honestly be very fun, because he won a championship. He's pretty good. He's an MVP of the league. But honestly, at this point, it's like the same to me.
I could just put Giannis at center and then have Tim Duncan at the 4.
I mean, Tim Duncan can hit a wide open 3, so you're kind of cooking there.
You're screwed. You're screwed, man. Once you made that LaMelo Ball pick, I don't know what I would have done with the Hornets, but yeah, that's rough.
LaMelo was the only move at this point. Al Jefferson would have been fun though. Oh, what? This is insane. Every team you've gotten, I mean, not the Thunder. Never mind. Almost every team you've gotten has won a championship. Only one of the teams that I've gotten has won a championship. Oh, no, 2. The Washington Wizards won in 78 or 77.
There you go.
I guess I'll take Wes Unseld. I'm taking what? Dwight Howard? Not Wizards Dwight Howard. I'll take Wes Unseld, though. Wes Unseld got some ball handling skills. Gosh, we're getting
How do you spell his last name? I live under a rock.
Yeah. I'm in pain.
All right, guys. Comment who you think you won, but I think you already know. I absolutely demolished Diego again.
The luck is insane.
Like always, Larry Bird, Kobe, Giannis, Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan. Luck of the spin right there. And on Diego's team, you got Dame, LaMelo Ball. LeBron James, somebody I never heard of with Wes Unseld because I started watching the NBA in 2007, and DeMarcus Cousins. So, yeah, that lines up your lineups there. Um, to be completely fair, man, I think it's
luck.
yes, but you do have shooting with Lillard and Ball like out of range. Like I don't
And
think you'll see
DeMarcus.
Kobe pulling up from 30 feet, and you got LeBron who can kind of dictate like off ball offense, and you got a major like size and girth like
Girth
player
for real. Well,
because like Demarcus.
Wes Unsel's pretty girthy, if you ask me. From what I like know of his NBA 2K My Team card.
Again with the 2K film, man, you got to work on this. You got to work on this,
Locked
but
in. I'm too locked in.
yeah. Absolutely demolished Diego once again. So I will be riding in my glory for another week as we round towards the playoffs. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. Very entertaining, despite shocking news today. Hope you follow us on Instagram at amon.a.mission. Full length videos in the YouTube channel at Amon Mission. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed the OKC Lakers game tonight.
Yeah,
Should be a fun.
I think it's gonna start like now. But the Celtics Knicks game I have here on the other screen also interesting.
Nobody cares about dude. I'll stop watching the Knicks right now.
The Knicks are winning. Come on. I want
right now. It doesn't matter.
Boston downfall. Come on. Anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're out. Thank you, everyone. This was a good episode. This was a fine one.
All right. This was the outro, man.
See you guys later. See you next week.
See you guys.